Yes, and today we're on Codebreaker Real Talk. I'm Veronica Bartolini with the Cosmic Mama, First Lady Erika, and we're gonna wait for Terri, but Terri is kind of busy, so we're just gonna start. We were talking about the so Miss Sabrina Wallace. She has had an impact on our lives. Chad first sent me the first video, and so obviously, you know me, of course I'm gonna go through all the freaking all of her shit because I gotta know what the and she does have a lot of points. She does have a lot of points. Now, the one you sent me yesterday, that I couldn't, I was dumbfounded. Like, what? I I'm like, okay, I know some of the things, well, I know exactly what she's talking about. Some things I do have to study more. But like we were talking earlier, I know with the hot flashes, with getting up every freaking hour to go to the bathroom at night, the cold sweats, is somebody going beep, beep, beep? Oh, let's zap V, make her get up. She just went to the bathroom, make her get up again. Get her, you know what? Get her so mad, and it's like, no, I do not consent to be no freaking voodoo doll for anyone. I do not consent anyone using my aura. Like she talks about, yes, we have aura. I've seen my aura. Have you? Have you, Miss Terri? Thanks for being on, Terri.
It's tough because I've seen people say like you don't have to actually lose your eyesight at 40. You don't have to, like, a lot of the things that are happening to us doesn't have to happen. But now it's become an expected part of our life cycle that as you become 30 to 40, you're gonna have brain fog, that you're gonna have menopause. And I didn't even think of it, but now that you say this about, us watching Sabrina's videos, now I know why that came up. I thought, wow, this video popped up that says menopause is not real. I didn't watch it, but I guess every time someone says too now, if you say, oh, that you were sweating while you're sleeping, like I'm saying, no, that's not menopause. Because what I have going on when I'm sweating, those are like astral experiences, or like I'm generating some type of activity and I'm sweating because I'm doing some type of work. It's not necessarily because of menopause, because I'm not like that in the daytime. It's
Yeah.
in my sleep state that I'm have something else going on. And I swear I was telling Terry too one time I was sleeping and I was in a room by myself and I was like, why is this taking so long? It was like my conscious mind was in a waiting room of some sort. So whatever I was doing, I was like busy, but this part of me was like, okay, guys, you're taking so long. But anyway, I I hadn't thought of the mechanics in the way that Sabrina did, though, that not understanding that the aura is actually a physical body part, because that's what she's saying. Like, this isn't something that's separate from you, it's actually a part of you. And what she
Okay.
did
Huh.
was make some
Sorry.
movement, and as she made those movements, all the hair on her body stood up because she was literally controlling her own biofield.
You could do that. You
And I never thought of it on that level. Like she said, we're not educated on that. What I will say though,
but real quick before you go on,
yeah.
okay, I wasn't educated on that either, but when I do, hi Terry, when I do
Hi.
spell work, when they say, hey, can you put a protection spell on me? I use my heart and my whole, I feel like the goosebumps. Why do you think you have goosebumps? Okay, either you feel something, something feels real to you. When somebody's lying, why do you feel something like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Go with your gut feeling. That's why they say go with your gut feeling. Um, but Miss Terry, thanks for joining. What do you think about this menopause thing? Because I know when Lady Erica was saying right now, I do get it, yes, because before I ever got hit with the menopause, I'll call it directed energy weapon from now on. I was getting sweat in my dream, but that when I was dreaming, and I have to have it cold here. I have to have it like anywhere from 64 degrees to like 60. 8 degrees. If not, I won't fall asleep. I guess our spirit leaves when we go to sleep, or I don't know what the heck happens really. That's another thing that I need to know, because I always say, well, does our spirit leave to go to the astral and we leave our body here? And that white silver cord, okay, the white silver cord, she was saying that it's tied up to the IBM computer underground. Okay, Terry, have at it.
I don't know. Did you see any of Sabrina's? But you know about the biofield. You've
I do,
studied.
and I will just say I went through menopause many years ago, but I was not somebody, I did not have any symptoms from it. And I had been, I've been using homeopathy. My homeopathic doctor put me on specific homeopathic medicines all the way along. And, just from the time that I was going to be turning, probably when I first started using homeopathy, it was maybe around 52, 53. And so my homeopathic doctor started me at the time, and I didn't go through menopause till I was like 58. But I had all of that time, but I had no symptoms. I would hear all these things and it's like, but because I was doing homeopathy, that's a high frequency, right? The medicines are high frequency. So any kind of bioweapons that may have been around me, I had already raised my frequency by using the homeopathy. So I think that I was able to avoid a lot of the symptoms because I was already working within different frequencies.
Thank
So
you.
that's my story.
Thank you, Miss Terry.
So,
she said real quick, she said that we're taking ivermectin, zeolite, and when you're doing that, you're putting other things inside, nanites or whatever. And she said something
well,
about,
that's what I was.
huh?
That's something that I was curious about.
I was like,
But
do I throw away my zeolite now and my ivermectin and my wormwood and all that? What the heck? Because it's synthetic biology.
I don't know. I think you do your pendulum or whatever, like make contact and find out what's good for you. But one thing I really was concerned about, I started looking at nanites in around 2017, and about then my mom had a open heart. No, she had the first open heart maybe 15 years before that. She had something where they were going to put stents in. And she went in and the surgery started at 8. By 3, she was home. And I was thinking to myself, like, how did you take veins out of her body and put it into her heart in that amount of time? And I just began to think, oh, they're using nanites. They're not using, like they're not using doctors' hands or anything like these things that they're doing that now they're doing nanites. But I started to think, if you know that a person is a smoker who doesn't eat properly, and then they're not gonna necessarily do what's right, like they're not gonna go to physical therapy and stuff, why would you spend the money on a person to do that, right? The insurance company, that's if she had had insurance. But her being a person with Medicaid, I was like, why is the government paying for her to have this surgery? And I was determined at that time, this is what they're doing. This is an experiment, some type of implants, some type of nanites, something that is, because I don't see how the government benefits for paying for people to have these kinds of surgeries. You know what I mean? That it's so then watching Sabrina, she was just talking about them just putting implants in you. And I thought about that, like when you give birth, when they take their baby from the room, or whenever they're doing what they're doing to you, what do we know what people are doing to us while we're having surgery and so on and so forth?
As far as the birth, I learned a long time ago that supposedly when okay. So when I was born, I was a C-section because they were trying to they were trying to get me out, but I was sitting down. Okay. So they did C-section, and then it doesn't make sense because my mom said they pulled me out with forceps and I have something here, and then I have an implant that I know of for sure here in my head, and here my shoulder, my knee. And when I went to go get right before I got the neck surgery to take out the 4 vertebrae, because I've already had 6 taken out and I have titanium, right? So I told the doctor, I said, there's an implant on my shoulder. Look, the MRI shows it. I showed it to him, and guess what he did? He's sitting on his chair. He goes, we're here to schedule surgery. We're not here, he said, to discuss this. That is not an implant, he said. I know it's an implant. And how is it that these doctors all of a sudden disappear? Like when I had my shoulder surgeries done on both and my left knee, I know I have implants on my left shoulder and on my left knee because I feel it, it itches it, it's bulging out. I've tried doing magnets and it bulges out, but I'm like, gosh, one of these days I just want to go and take it out, but it's like, and then they disappear. I was like, okay, now 5 years after I had these surgeries, now this shoulder is messing up. My right knee is messing up now. I go and say, hey, is Dr. So-and-so here? Oh no. Or they actually sent me a letter on one saying he was moving to Scottsdale. Another doctor, they wiped him out. And I have Arizona Complete Health, which is also, Medicaid or whatever, Medicare, one of those. Dr. Raymond Bakotic. He was my doctor for almost 20 years. I kept asking him, I need an MRI, I need an MRI, that he wouldn't show up. And then I'd have to reschedule. And then my MRIs were denied. Finally, his wife called me and said he beat me up. I ended up in the hospital. He's on drugs again because his wife, when I first met up with him, his wife was dying of cancer. And then all of a sudden he's gone for like a whole month or two. People are stealing his RX, his RXs or whatever. And then he's gone to a thing in California, a thing to get him, how do you say, sober again, do drugs and alcohol. He would have, young women. She told me all kinds of stuff. So I finally had to get an attorney to help her to get him some, I'm like, okay, you need an attorney? Well, here's an attorney. So then he ended up in jail. I went to the office and they were demolishing his office. I don't have my records, so I'm gonna need to somehow get my records. You know what I mean? That kind of crap F's with you. Like, what are they trying to hide?
So you're thinking that because they're inside this network doing these particular things, that's why they're moving them around, is what you're saying. I know I heard about, I don't know, at the bottom of the hospital, what is it? Do you know, Terry? At the bottom of the hospital where they have where they take the bodies, the morgue part?
Oh, the morgues, yeah.
Oh, to my understanding, that's always run by a Masonic person. But it's definitely a thick network because even when it comes to the liability from one doctor to the next, one won't testify against the other. So, thanks, Terry. One won't testify against the other, and I've seen places where it could be a malpractice, but they won't vouch. Like they won't vouch for the patient, is what I'm saying. Well, even with my mom, I could say even with her too. She went in for another one of those surgeries because I don't know if you know that this is what they do too, because they know that certain elderly people like attention. And so those doctors, they like rub the person's shoulder. They have a routine that they do, and they say, yeah, and they listen to them tell stories and stuff like that. And then it opens them. It's like a way to, how do you say, connect with the patient. So now whenever when they want to tell the patient, like, you should have this surgery, you should have this surgery, like the person listens when they want them to take the medication. It's like, okay, because they pat them on their back and they listen to the story, and and then they act like they're their friend. And I just can't even tell you how many surgeries my mom has had. And I see this with a lot of elderly people. And as a paramedical examiner, going to people's houses, I would go to people's houses and they would have, this is, I'm pushing against the light switch. They would have containers, like rows and rows and rows of all this medication, but it's a routine that they have with the doctor. So I think one of the last surgeries that she had, and I went to go be there, the doctor was supposed to do something with her kidney, and they ended up doing something with her spine instead. Like, oh, I just went around to the side and did this. Now she can't walk. So that's an obvious case of malpractice, but somehow she would never bring herself to really go through with it, but yet still going back to the same doctors. Like, if the doctor does this to you, why do you go back for him to him for a visit? Like, there's some type of breakdown. Without a person's consent, you can't go start a lawsuit for them. You can't really do anything for them. And so since she never consents to actually doing something about it, there's nothing you can do as a family member. So I don't know. There's definitely something going on, though. Definitely like mind control. Definitely the nanites. They had that list of nanites and all the food that had nanites. It was on the internet before. And I forgot the name of the agency that had it, but they took it down. Like, you cannot even find the food list with the nanites anymore. But definitely it was Pepsi, Oreos, all these different foods with nanites in it. And it's not just a filler. When you look at the NSAIDs, in NSAIDs, the non-steroidals, like, how do you think that they become time release? Because of the magnets, right? And so the magnets go to certain parts of your body because they're attracted to the temperature. It's just magical, actually, how they can do that. But I don't know. A lot of people are still taking over-the-counter medicine, and sometimes we need it, to an extent, but it's something to try to wean yourself off of, I believe, because of all the magnets. And if you know about graphene and magnets and, how do they get them out of your body, right? And isn't that why we need zeolite, is to get the magnets back out? So
But then what does zeolite have? She was saying that it has
I
others.
don't know what zeolite. I never heard anything bad about zeolite before. I don't know, Terry, have you? But you got your headsets on?
I do because I have company here.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jax. Hey, Jonathan. They
Oh,
both said
and
hi.
Jonathan.
Yeah, I got them both here. Um, so, with regard to zeolite, it is a mineral. It is a crystal.
But what's inside the crystals?
Hold on a second, and let me see if I can give you some information on that.
And while you do that, Miss Terry, thank you so much. She was talking about Project Mavis, which is map coordinates. There's coordinates in our body where they can log in to geospatial, NIST, Verizon or AT&T, and update and change your morphic field, your biometrics. There, we are called a digital twin from what they have. And it's called fifth generational warfare, and they're trying to shut us down. Some people, when you, like, when I had those things, those thoughts of like ending my life, I didn't know it was part of Project Mavis, and it's called Omega Project, and it's a kill switch, because usually they say, oh, we have a kill switch when we start remembering things. So is that the kill switch that they put here in our back? Because when we're born, they say we're shot here and put an implant behind here on our neck. They take the baby and then they say, oh, the husband,
What
come
is
here,
the
husband, with the nurses. And then, the mom's left alone too. But yeah.
what's the project where they whisper in your ear and give you thoughts? It's a separate project, isn't it?
It used to be
That's
like,
MK Ultra. Is that what
yeah,
you're talking about?
yeah, it was V2K and MK Ultra, but now she says that V2K is like, that's like in history. Now it's just either they have drones going up around you and then they zap you with something. They can even touch you, or they can just do it through the drone, or somebody has the VR glasses with the IEEE thing, and like, the officers, like, they'll be black
Yeah,
ops.
that technology's been out for a long time. But anyway, zeolite is a group name for framework silicates with exchangeable cations. They are well-defined hydrous silicates. So It is said that all zeolite have the capacity to assist in the improvement of the environment and to etherically absorb toxic products and odors. So I'm thinking that because it is a silicate, they're easy to program, right?
It's
So
a,
if
but it also
if
has aluminum too.
it has
It
what?
has aluminum. It also has aluminum in it, and I never knew that.
What? I
No,
was taking it to take out the aluminum.
Well,
no.
that's what it says. It says silicon, aluminum, oxygen, zeolite contains other elements like
Okay, I'm
sodium,
throwing
calcium.
mine away.
Well, I think you have to look to see what kind, if you're getting pure zeolite that doesn't have, it doesn't have anything else.
Yeah. I don't know why it says that, but it's like it says it has aluminum. I don't know why. Well, you know who I asked? Chatbot GPT. So Chatbot GPT said it had aluminum in it.
Okay,
So
well, but if you look at, I mean, I'm using the crystal
yeah,
Bible from so, but it doesn't say anything about aluminum in here at all. So I don't have the chemical composition though.
yeah. Let me see
So
something because
so
it
you know, I think that honestly, with any of these things that you use, it's the frequency. And if you take it and you're going to use a crystal and you're going to say to the crystal, I am asking to release all old programs, and that the original matrix of this crystal will be used, and I'm programming it to be used for my highest and healing good, then you can neutralize any other kinds of other programming that's on there. And it's just with your intention from your heart. And so you're going to want to release any other programs from there.
Terry, let's do something real quick. I have a crystal of selenium. Lady Erica, get one, and then Terry, we're all gonna do that right now, okay? And the audience,
Okay,
1 second.
okay. You want to take a crystal and just, we can do that.
I am tripping.
You got a crystal there, Erica?
No, I gotta get up.
Hmm.
I'm in shock.
Look at mine. I've had 27 surgeries and about to have another 5 more. And I'm like, I don't want to have no more surgeries. I don't want them. It's too pain.
You have to program your quantum being into its divine and highest health plan.
Okay, that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna say that, and we're all going to agree that we are programming what you just said. And
Okay.
I think Erica, if you wanted to add something after, but
Okay, so what we're going to do is you can take a crystal. I'm just going to take a different one.
Hmm. Well, that's one good thing. With crystals, it's programmable.
Yeah. So I'm going to get you to take your crystal and put it between the palms of your hands, sort of like you're in a prayer mode. And if you got a big crystal, just as long as both of your palms are there, and just put them here, you know, in that prayer state. And if you close your eyes and you bring your awareness down through your crown chakra, through the top of your head, and bring it down through your throat to your heart. And just feel like you're breathing through your heart space, in and out. And as you do, you're bringing in the energy from the highest source of creation and bringing it down through and out through your heart. And you're surrounding your hands and your crystal with your heart energy. And now invite with your intention that you're going to clear any programming that the crystal may hold. And just say, to yourself, to the crystal, just invite it to release any old programs and that it's free of any old programs. And then just through your heart, just send light from the source. It can be golden light, it can be a crystalline light, whatever you feel is appropriate. And now you can take a deep breath in, and as you're sending this ray of light to your crystal, you're going to send the intention and invite the crystal to use its programming ability to assist you in your healing, in your health, in being on your highest timeline with regard to your health and well-being. And just send that thought through the heart, through your heart into the crystal. This is your highest intention for your health and your physical well-being. And when you're ready, you can just allow that flow is going to stay active within your crystal. And you can just give a little thanks and know that your crystal is now activated for your divine healing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel much better.
Good. Sleep
I'm
with your crystal.
Yeah, she's right beside my bed, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna sleep.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you. I needed that.
You're welcome.
Clear. Clear. All
Like
those
somewhat
programs
worried about the
gone.
surgery that you're having.
What is
What's
it?
that?
You're somewhat feeling anxious about the surgeries that you're having.
Yeah, I don't want to have any more. I just stopped the morphine. It's been a good 10 days. And the MA was tripping. She's like, you need to come in tomorrow at 1:30 because that's not right. How did you taper off? I just stopped. It was hard at night because of the anxiety. Like I would like sleep 1 second here and then I had to move again and my mind was going and I had to take walks outside. And they pretty much, I talked about it yesterday
Yeah.
on that video. So if you guys want to see what I went through, it was hell. And then I needed 2 blood transfusions and I kept saying no. I kept crying. In December, I said no twice in the 2 surgeries, and then it's just been hell. And for the doctor to say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't take the ones in the hips out, but he completely massacred my glutes and sent home necrotic and all that. I sent you the video, the pictures. And it's like, why are they hurting me this way? But I knew I had to get them out. I knew I had to there was like 40 cancer cells. They were some of them were huge. They were myxoid liposarcoma. And the doctor kept saying that it looked like gray fish, like our Agent Orange that you see in Vietnam. And I'm like, and he's like, you're too young to be in Vietnam. And I said, sir, and of course I sounded crazy and I shouldn't have said it, but I said, have you heard of the space program? I said, I was in the military, in the army. I said, they gave me the Quaalude, the shark Quaalude with the anthrax. I said, how do you know what else they didn't give us? And the gas, the mustard gas and the drills, all the fighting, and then the police academy. They took me and I was hypnotized 3 times. So were two other females. And I feel with all my heart that that's when they were trying to do the Omega project for me to kill myself. Because in 2010, Halloween of 2010, I shot myself in my heart. I don't remember grabbing my weapon. I don't remember. And then I'm not gonna say who, but the second shot was somebody else. Then the police departments covered both. Both of them covered each other. And then they brought in a handler. He was also a cop for where I worked with him and his wife. He would say, because my ex-husband changed my name to Gump. Can you believe that? Gump, like Forrest Gump? And he wouldn't let anybody see me for 3 days that I was gone, and my kids. And then all of a sudden, these two people that are handlers, the wife and the husband, they were both military and police. They say, "Oh, we got $300. Everybody chipped in, and we bought you laundry soap. We bought you food because for a month and a half I was in the hospital." So they kept handling me. I didn't know back then, about CIA handlers. And then after all that was done and all this, it's like they still want to send these people to date you, right? And then I call them the CIA love bites. And some person, I guess, wrote a book called The Alien Love Bite. I didn't know. But yeah, so this is the stuff that Sabrina also talks about. That I even had so many military men come and say, "Hey, you want to go out?" And then I would talk about like what I see, my visions, and how I help people heal or clear their whatever, their oh, black magic was placed on me. Can you help me? Yeah, there I go helping. And then they would make fun of you. Like, how do you know? It's gaslighting. I think what happens, going back to what Lady Erika was saying with the doctors, is Stockholm syndrome, because it happened to me. Like, I was so mad at the doctor, but then when the MA told me that he felt so bad when I was in Christmas having surgery because he couldn't be there, that he felt bad, and he never said I'm sorry. They're never gonna say I'm sorry.
They can't, because that would be like an admission of guilt or wrongdoing.
Because when I was a police officer, they always said, don't say you're sorry to anybody. You cannot say you're sorry. So of course you have to put your Hulk mask on, right? When you're in the military too. And Terry, I'm sure you've been in some situations where you've had to, cowgirl up and get that, adrenaline going to survival mode and so
It's interesting that you said, because even about the saying, not saying you're sorry, because Sabrina was talking about how people, they will look you dead in your face, like men who stare at goats, and they will not acknowledge things. They won't answer. They won't answer truthful. They won't deny, and they won't apologize. Yeah. And I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm really wondering now, because I remember when I never thought of this way until another person came forward about her husband taking the anthrax shot, and it deteriorated their whole body, and then he eventually passed away. But that it had to start with one of those uh what do you call it, when and you have to go into you have to put the public in hysteria first, right? So you put the public in hysteria about the envelopes coming in the mail, and I never thought, oh wow, that was another one of the scams where they said, guess what, they're sending this powder in the mail to the White House, and it's being found everywhere, and they get
and
the
in the
public
meantime,
hysterical,
and
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 then they, because
meantime,
they
they're
have to give,
cleaning you up.
right, so they have to
In 1991,
sell
they
the
should
prop,
go for it.
yeah.
Go ahead.
They have
Yeah.
to sell the problem in order to provide you with a solution. So I have to sell you the problem is, guess what? We need to have these shots because now there's this public endangerment of having this thing. And it's amazing because after our last pandemic, these have all been planned, that they plan it with public hysteria, and then they show you the solution, and it all has serial numbers on it, right? It's all been done ahead of time. Because how did they even come up with the anthrax vaccine that fast too? Like, but back then we just kind of took that for granted. But when one of my fellow soldiers was going to Iraq, and of course you have to say that it's their fault, right? Because they're using chemical warfare. We're not going to tell you that no, your government is planning this, and we just really put you on the payroll to be very expensive uh experimental dummies, right? Because let's be honest, if you get a sunburn while you're in the military, like you can actually get press charges against you, right? Because you're damaging military property. They're allowed to damage you. You are not allowed to damage yourself. So now, as my friends are being forced to take the shot, they were scared to death. They were like, well, is it going to affect my sperm? Am I going to be able to have kids? Are my kids going to come out weird because now you've injected me with this particular thing? And it's like, what do you do? What's the solution? Because you don't really have the right to say no because you are government property. But I do believe now, those same veterans, there was a class action lawsuit. They lost, but now it's on the ratings list for disability with the VA, is it now?
Yes, they approved okay, so they said, because I had the lower back surgery first and I had the S1 through L5 and they put the titanium. And I thought, sure as crap, I'm gonna get my benefits. Well, I had pages and pages and pages of everything since I was 18. I had my first surgery. I sent everything to them and they still said, you're denied and don't apply again. I'm like, I'm gonna hire a lawyer then. I have to, like you told me. And pages and pages, the ear ringing, that's another thing I kept telling people in the love and light community. I'm sorry, you guys, I love you, but please open your mind. They would say, oh, it's because the aliens are here. No, they're scanning your freaking body. And in 2011, Sabrina was saying that they, with all the terrorist act or whatever, when that passed, then they were allowed to mess with your bone marrow. You know what I'm saying? So when you have ear tinnitus, and my son's like, yeah, mom, that's because you're getting old. I go, shut up. I said, no, that has nothing to do with getting older. I know it has to do with the implants. And at the same time, it's like, I feel like, okay, when they do that, it's like, where the is the drone so I can shoot you with my plasma weapon? That's another thing she was saying. It's like, you guys are gonna go to a gunfight with a knife, meaning she didn't say with a knife. I said that, but she said, you're gonna take, guns, ammo to a plasma war. When these people want to come knocking on your door, which I do not consent, hey, did you get the job? Did you get, you know, the whole communist thing, the whole credit
A
system.
part of that too, she was saying, what is graphene used for? She said, if it's graphene, it's not a vaccine. If it's graphene, it's not a vaccine. Because she was showing this new the technology that the people are studying on that can read your biofield, because now you have these markers, because you have the graphene throughout your body. Now it can say this is what her body temperature is. Oh, she's having her menstrual. Like it could, like, now you're trackable. Now you're a trackable person because you have this. And she was talking about these drones, that they could send the drones over your house and like just measure things about you based on the fact that you have these markers in here. And she was even talking about telehealth. The diagrams that she was using were, really amazing. Because she was talking about
They've they've been
EEGs and everything.
they've been using that technology in China for several years, for a long time. They
Yeah,
know they know exactly where the women are, who's ovulating and who's pregnant and all that. And they because they have that surveillance technology in China. So
yes,
yeah,
and
so they're
that's what
they're
they want to bring over here. And I
yeah,
told you that
exactly.
in 2018, and people were just like looking at me like I was crazy, but it's part of the big nine tech companies, okay, which is Google, Amazon, Facebook, IBM, Alibaba, Microsoft, uh,
So
Tencent, Apple, and Baidu. So the G Mafia that is going to be with the smart cities and having, supposedly you don't need a doctor anymore, and the AI coming and scanning you and all that, that's Google, G Mafia, right? Google is G, M is Microsoft, A is Amazon, F is Facebook, um, the I is IBM, and then the other A is well, it's Apple and Amazon's. The A are Apple and Amazon's. G Mafia. For the 15-minute cities, I talked about this a long time ago, and people were like, no. And now it's like the credit system. Why do you think? And she was talking about even when you go to the eye doctor, they're looking into your eyys.
I know, I want to know. I
What,
want to know.
what
I want to
do you
see
think?
what you're seeing when you're looking inside the eye. When they have to call someone else in and look inside your eye, and
Oh, and they take pictures of your eyes. They're scanning the eyes. Oh, I'm not going to the eye doctor again.
I know. I've already had PRK, which isn't LASIK, because LASIK is like slicing the layer and then put it back. But PRK changed the shape so that it wasn't like the little footballs anymore. It rounded them out. But it's amazing because I still feel like I can't see. But when I get tested, I'm 20/20 or better sometimes, but I still feel like I can't see.
I can't see at all if I don't have my contacts or my glasses. I have to be this close to someone to see. And it's scary because what if what if I don't have my
I'm
glasses?
so
I have to
paranoid. They
use
give me
my
those drops.
obviously. I do use, I use my spidey senses, my cat eyes at night. I'm very used to that. But it's kind of like scary to think I didn't need any glasses all of a sudden in sixth grade because I would sit in the back of the class. All of a sudden in sixth grade, big old bottle glasses, and I had to sit in front of the class. What is that all about? Oh, well, people say, oh, it's because you were in space and you're degenerating. I'm like, nah, I think it has to do something with I don't know, implants, maybe nutrition, supposedly. I don't know. I'm still
They
thinking.
give me eye drops. I'm afraid to use the eye drops because I'm like, I don't know what's in it. I'm just like, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know what to trust that sometimes, And you're right, Terry. It's like, well, yeah, it's because consenting to that surgery, they made a map of my eye. I have pictures of the map, but they just know so much more about you than what you know about yourself, and you're just kind of allowing it. Where at the same time, as a patient, I like to be a student, and I want to ask you questions and see if you can, if you're able to answer my questions while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? But definitely there's people who are a part of it, and maybe they don't even really know what they're a part of. That's kind of what I wonder when they're a doctor, because it seems like the doctor clique, like I've seen a pregnant, it was just blown to me, and I'm gonna say this too. It was a female doctor. She was pregnant and she was really pushing the vaccine during in 2020, and I was extremely confused because you can't even take Tylenol when you're pregnant. You know what I mean? So how would you tell people to take a brand new vaccine that's never been seen before? I've never seen them tell cancer patients to take something new. People who were on dialysis or had failing kidneys, but those aren't people who you give brand new drugs to. So that's very, very confusing. So like you're saying, Stockholm, yeah, I think Americans have Stockholm syndrome, or people, the citizens have Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, they do.
Now, I did talk with Tom yesterday about the whole transgender trans agenda. And because Sabrina was saying that it's run, all these the pretty much the 802.15.4 is ours, like our body. And how, you know, they use the IEEE to talk to 80.55. She was giving all this thing about Slinker emergent technology. And it's like, so basically what I'm trying to say is that it's run by the transgender agenda. You've seen how they've been morphing their body, changing their chemistry, changing their biometrics. They have the logs, you know, the Department of Defense too, and Northcom. And I have seen so many, I couldn't see them all the way. There's like these two movies. One is with Anne Hathaway and the other one is with gosh, I forget her name, but one with Anne Hathaway, oh, she's dating this singer who is very young and she's like 20, 30 years older than him. And then the other one is where the mom decides to go to college, back to college, and her daughter just entered her freshman year. So then she hooks up with, I don't know, she's like maybe 50 or 45, and then she hooks up with this like 24-year-old, 23, and they have sex and all that. They don't show it. And then later on in the movie, they're showing her all dressed up like if she was a diva, like a transvestite, which I don't think she is. She's married to, I don't know, I think she's straight. But her husband also comes out in a lot of movies. She came out in I forget her name, but she came out
I
in,
know what you mean. The heavyset lady who likes
yeah,
to
yeah,
steal from people.
I love her.
She's in the Jason Bateman movie.
Yeah, and I used to like her, watching her a lot, but yesterday I couldn't finish watching that movie because she's over here dating a guy that's like, she's like maybe 30 years older than him or 25, and it's freaky, and they want that. They want the whole pedophile thing to be, oh, well, if she's 13, if she's ovulating, then she can get married. You know, they want to go through that. Also, it's all part of having people get hooked up on the cloud. Like she said, oh, we're gonna put a diaper on you, put a VR on you, and then you can be in space all you want. Or you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's sad. I just I was freaking out. I mean, I freak out a lot because of this information, because what I know and what I do is sometimes I'll just isolate myself. But that's what they want. They want Project Artichoke. They want you to isolate yourself. So I'll turn off everything maybe for a couple days, a week, and it's like I don't even
Was
want to.
it? Oh, I see what you're saying. She was doing the 80s flashback.
Yes,
Life of the Party. It was Life of the Party with Melissa
yes,
McCarthy. That was like the most trash movie ever. It was actually just trash because it had too many plot holes. It was the dumbest movie I've ever seen. But you know, that's what happens when you steal someone else's script. And she got sued for it, even though like the lady will never get credit. But she left that was like the worst. It was the dumbest movie.
yeah. I'll be back. You guys take over. We're still recording. I'm gonna get my
Oh, okay. But Terry, tell us about the biofield because you're the one that knows about the bio. I mean, I listened to what she was saying, and I don't know. I mean, how do we take that? The fact that, you know,
Well, well, okay. I know what the biofield is, but and I'm not a Chinese medicine practitioner, but all of our meridian lines are all running. This is where the energy is coming, and our physical body takes it. So this biofield, the energy on the outside of the body is what feeds the inside, what feeds the cells. And so if you're controlling those energy pulses, you can put frequencies into them that's going to create a resonance within the body, or a dysresonance within the body. So when we talk about in Chinese medicine or TCM, right, you have and they talk about it in, in Ayurvedic medicine and stuff, we call it chi, but this is where your energy is flowing on the outside, and then we can bring it into the body and bring that flow, so your lines of energy are flowing all along you, and we can actually program our biofields with our own thought processes. So if you take your crystal, you can program, you know, that field around you, and it has a color. You can have it put a color to it. You can affect how you feel by the biofield around you, by that the energy that flows around you. You know, it's that part of the universe that is the essence of creation, so to speak, that's flowing around it, and it nourishes the physical being. So, you know, is it that current? Is it the current of the creator? Maybe. I don't know.
Thank
So
you.
my thought, my oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. I was going to bring up the eighth sphere, because the eighth sphere, they say a dark journalist, if you look at some of his stuff on the eighth sphere, he says you can't see it with the naked eye, but it's above, like above the dome. I always say above or below the dome because there's two domes. And that it's supposed to be very benevolent, very good, but that people have used it for AI and have corrupted some, that it's malleable, or it's because AI can be just like a crystal, because we're all crystals, guys. We're all made out of crystals. What I call bioluminescence. This is us. And when she says, "Oh, you're the one that powers your coffee pot," well, why do you think? Because we're crystals, clear. You know, and when the light hits it, what colors? Colors of the rainbow. You know, even stuff you can't see. We're crystal clear. We're medicine to this world. We're gold. We're gold dust, pretty much stardust, right? And we're powering up these things in life and the sun. What if we're the ones powering up the sun? Because they say that we can hold 10,000 suns. Anyway, I went tangent.
Well, and they, you know, just to take it a little bit further, we are electrical bodies, right? We're made up of trillions and trillions and trillions of cells, and each one of those cells has the ability to give off a charge of electricity. So we are walking around as these amazing bio machines that can produce a lot of energy. So if AI is wanting to be fed, guess what? They're going to tap into us just like in the Matrix. And they say so many times that Matrix is a documentary. And you know, it's starting to become more evident that what are they trying to do? They're trying to plug us in. They're trying to control us. And
And
you
we
know,
do
part
power
of
the sun because
yeah.
we all agree that the sun exists. We
Mhm.
agree to this is the time that it should come up, and this is the time it should. We do power the sun. If
That's
you
right.
know, I don't know, and I heard about this the other day too. I guess it makes you go back to the question, like if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a noise? There's a reason why they ask that question. They pose that question because does the tree even exist if you've never seen it? You know what I mean? Or does it, like, do parts of the matrix turn off until you appear?
There's a wonderful Tom Campbell wrote a book called My Big Toe, and Tom Campbell is a I think he's a physicist. He's a physicist, but he actually worked at the Monroe Institute for a long time, and he worked with developing the hemisync program, the signals and stuff. But he wrote this book, My Big Toe, and he talks about exactly that, is that if we are you know, if we're living in a simulation, then we turn on and off just what we want to experience. So yes, we can say we've got a whole universe beside us, but right now the only part that we're paying attention to is what's happening right here on Earth, and all the other stuff doesn't really it's not turned on now, so it's not important. This is the most important focus that we're at. Um, so yeah, are we in a program? Is it simulated?
Yeah,
We don't know.
you know we
It
are.
You
seems
know,
like,
who's
We are.
controlling us?
and so why study game theory when you're trying to study the existence of man? This is why you're looking at game theory, and that's another thing that Sabrina was suggesting. why are they studying game theory when you want to study the existence of man? And then it's the things that people are going to school for right now, I guess she was saying, and things that people are learning to use. And it's why are these textbooks at the in in the office at Microsoft in these big stacks, that these books that she was pulling out some books and talking about equipments that she's seen. Like, why are these things here if that's not what it's for, you know? She was making a lot of really valid points. I
Yeah.
think she was, was she naked in
Yeah.
one of the,
You know
okay,
why?
I thought good. She was
You know
naked.
why? You know why? Because me, I gotta get rid of this bra that has like all this. I gotta get rid of that because they send energy weapons. And no, I'm not crazy. I actually met Aleli Keaton. If you're watching, hola Aleli. She paid for me to go to California. Her husband is ex-CIA. He had 9 patents. I took a picture, but then all of a sudden they're not on my phone. And she was also a photographer for NASA. And she took off a little thing of the bra. She took off the little
Okay.
yeah, and
People thought I was crazy when remember when they showed the Victoria's Secret bras had the RF. It was I said, but if the point of this was so that it could be tracked because you want to know about is it being stolen, why when I buy it, I don't know that it's still in there.
I'll bring one.
And then if you're putting them in the ones for teenagers, it's like, so if the thing is, sure, you could say this is completely innocent, but if you got an RF chip or RDIF chip inside of a bra that's made for minors, then someone with the right technology can track, oh, we got little kids in the park today. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I swear to God, people just were like, I was like, no, this is not funny. If I have something in my clothing that's telling people where I am, that it can be used, then I should know that. And it should have directions saying, hey, when you take this home, remove this from your clothing. But this gets so deep. Yeah. And I had several of those.
When they have the black here, and if you open them up, some of the bra things, if you open them up, they'll have like a green or red or yellow line, and they're tracking you.
You got tags on it. So why did you need that? And if it was to say, oh, it's loss prevention, then why wouldn't you put it on the box or on the tag, like other things that are on the tag? That made no sense.
They can burn you with wire bras. They can send a signal and burn your ass. You know what I'm saying? So that's why she's naked. Why doesn't she wear makeup? Because if you do the glitter, well, there's something in there too. There might be some aluminum. Why do you think I don't wear the
Even fabric
roll on?
softener.
Yeah, it's in everything.
Fabric softener.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that I have, yeah, that sticky stuff. That's like
Yeah,
that,
yeah, there's
the Tide, and even in
no,
the
that'll sound crazy to people, but flex your mind a little bit. You know, what I always wonder too, if we're in the military and it's not wartime and I'm just hanging out in Germany, why the fuck are we there? How do they employ that many people just to sit around? You have to think of what the government is, what the
siphoning
military
our
is.
energy in that
You're
point to power.
paying people to just sit
Yeah,
in offices and do a lot of nonsense because every office that you're in, we're not plotting, like we're not thinking about Russia, we're not thinking about the Ukraine, we're not thinking about any of that stuff. We're thinking about partying. So we're in our offices, we're drawing blood and doing all this stuff, and even to the point they
yes,
had a study called the Million Man is some type of study we were doing with the where as a veteran you could sign up and they would take your blood. And much later then I began to think, well, what happens to all your blood even when you go do a DNA test? Like, what happens to all your blood that just sits there, because you sign a paper that says that you can keep my blood for a certain amount of time. We sign papers, but
well, what
there's a lot to be
blood,
done.
if you keep, okay, so what if they upload our blood to something, and then that's like the silver cord, a kind of silver cord. I don't understand. I don't have the terms, okay, to say how she does, it's like I would have to sit and memorize, and then also I want to study more of that. I want to get that book that she puts up all the time. I want to buy that one.
Oh, the red book?
Yeah. So
Let me,
anyway, going back real quick to Monroe. There's also a Project Monroe in the SSP. Okay. And then also the movie Gamer is actually showing you what they're doing to our avatar, to our digital twin. They have a man who lost his they took his wife, something happened to his wife, and they have her as a prostitute in one of the games where the guys can say, "Hey, I'm gonna pay so much, and I'm gonna do virtual reality sex with her," right? And he's over here with weapons and everything, fighting, and he's in a game. And the boy is very young, and he has millions of dollars using him as an avatar. So why I'm pretty sure they use our blood and they keep it and they do something with it so that way they can try and hurt us in the future or study. I think because we are not from this
And
earth.
exactly, and why do they want it, why do they encourage everybody to get their ancestry and me and whatever, and then they have the blood and you're giving it to them and they can track you then, right? Yeah.
well, not only that, like if you look at what they do in Fringe, there was one episode where they've studied certain races of people and they found this common denominator in this particular race, and they created some type of factor that they could put into a gas, and if they gas this particular area, it only affects those particular people who have these genes. So there's a lot to understanding what they can do with your blood,
I'm
all
going
their
to,
abilities with
I'll be
that.
very careful what I say here.
No, it's very
But I know someone whose family is in Russia, and she told me, and she has a lot of friends there, and we were talking about the virus, and I said, she said it hit those people very hard, and I said, do you think that there was a different strain that hit Russia as compared to here?
and New York.
And she said, absolutely, because people got extremely, extremely sick because it was targeting those particular people with that particular bloodline.
Exactly. And then you know what it reminded me of? I know it's a little bit different, but like when supposedly we're in Phoenix, Arizona, but you could be in Mars, same territory, and it's like, which Mars? Anyway, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, also
They
in New York.
also, and they also had different jibby jabs for different kinds of people.
Yeah.
DS, are you, what race are you?
yeah,
You know,
yeah. So
and you
like
had,
if
they had different, they had a different type of jab for,
so it's targeted individuals. We're all
yeah,
targeted individuals because it's like, oh, you're Mexican. Oh, really? Okay, well, here's the vaccine or what I don't want to call it the V because I don't want this to take down. The here's the thing, because you're gonna get diabetes. No, I do not consent. But it's like they programmed people's blood to have certain diseases. So they're brainwashing you since you're little. You're going to the doctor. Hey, what's in your family? Oh, well, your grandma had cancer. Oh, well, maybe you have, and it's like, no, they make so much money off of us. Like we are so valuable as Starseeds coming into this life.
we, all we have to say within ourselves is, I do not consent to it.
Right.
Whether we are signing anything or not, we just have to say to the program, I'm not consenting. And
Oh yeah. I do that all the time, Terry.
yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
reminding me. Even when I'm listening to Pandora, oh my gosh, like get
yeah.
out of commercials. Get out of the commercials, and then I don't like, you're watching a movie or whatever, and then it's like, no, I'm not watching that. The color yellow is
Oh.
transgender. It has no gender actually. So like if you're looking at the movie, I've talked about it before. Um, there's a couple, gosh, I'll remember the movie. He's just not that into you. So
Oh.
this one couple is in a room. You know, they have their house and they're building their oh what should we make this room, right? And then she's like, "Ooh, we should paint it yellow." And then he's like, "For what?" "Oh, for a baby." But they don't mention a boy or girl because they don't want to assign. So it's non-gender. The yellow is non-gender. Pink with Barbie. Remember, it was Barbie and Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer. Pink is what color is supposedly our chakra that's overlaid on our stomach? It's pink, right? And our heart is like what, green? You go through the chakra systems and we have an overlay supposedly since the Atlantean times. That's the chakra system. I don't let nobody perform Reiki on me because I don't want them programming me. Just like this, we are programmable. That's what I'm trying to say. So yes, I'm wearing blue so I can speak better. Yes, I have green for jade. Yes, I have my shungite for frequencies. I'm even wearing a shungite pyramid in my bra. You know what I mean? It's like we are crystals though at the same time. So we have to keep programming. Thank you, Terry. We're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna keep reprogramming. And we're gonna say thank you. We are programmable. But let us not be programmed by AI. This whole medical thing that's coming. G Mafia. Oh, okay, my refrigerator's telling me I ran out of chocolate or milk or eggs. Okay, well here comes Amazon. Order on your iPhone or one of these Androids. Black mirrors. The black mirror is your phone, your computer. I always cover my TV. All my TVs are covered. I only have one mirror, which I program. I speak to it and I look at myself directly and I say, "You got this, Mom. We got this. Whatever I want. Orale. Go, arc field. What do you want? Healing. What do you want? Let's go. Come on." And then you start doing your breathing exercise. Come on, girl. Let's go jogging. I can't jog yet. Okay, well, let's just walk fast. You know what I'm saying? You have to program, you have to hype yourself up and because nobody's gonna do it for you. No, we can't keep going to the doctors. Like on Monday, I have an appointment. I don't want to go. I don't want to go anymore. Yes, I still have 6 more centimeters to heal on my body from the freaking wound he did, botched surgery. But like I don't want to go. And then they want more blood. Oh, just to see if the what I call marshmallows, if the cancer still, well, guess what? I ain't got no more cancer in my body because I eliminated it. Not only did I have those surgeries, but I stopped eating sugar and I started working out as much as I can right now. I can't work out at the gym, but I can walk. Lola pulls me up the stairs. Lola pulls me this way. I'm going. I'm getting stronger and stronger by the minute. They wanted to kill me. I'm not kidding. The medical field, yes, some doctors are good, but some doctors, they're all connected. The Stork program, like she was saying, "Oh, did you give her medicine?" "Oh, well, I just pushed the button and I gave her the medicine." Why? What are you giving her? Stork program. I guess that's the Stork program that it's called. You can drink stuff like this. I'm drinking soursop dried leaves. In the back, it says that it takes cancerous cells away. Soursop,
Oh, yeah. I saw a
organic.
video about that, one of the top 4.
Cheers. I'm healing. Bitches, I am not gonna go do no more surgery. Not you bitches, but bitches.
Those other bitches.
The code book. You also have codes in your bodies that they're also crystals. We can also, talk to the codes in our body, our logarithms that they have placed. I do not consent. I be so in focused in, okay, is this my thought form? No. Bitch, that's not my thought form. Return to sender. No, that is not my thought form. Return it to sender like if it was a mirror. The thought forms come like if it was a shattered mirror coming to you. Well, return all that and go all over like, return that. Switch it back. So all the black is on you and the mirrors are on them. Like a disco ball. Guess what? I'm inside the disco ball and I'm healing.
Well, and one of the things that we can invoke is our divine blueprint, which overrides all of the AI programming and all of the other programming that we are subject to here. But if we call in our divine blueprint and we ask for that, and we want to be in that, live our life based on our divine blueprint, that will override all of this other BS.
I am calling in my divine blueprint, baby.
Yeah.
I received my divine, original divine blueprint in my body.
And you know, some people don't feel like, oh, you know, I guess some people need like a lot of explanations and stuff, and it's calling things into existence. And some people really get hung up on it. And that's just something they have to work on with their own faith, with their own, you know, belief systems. Like we're programmed with self-limiting beliefs that tell you that life has to be hard, and that you have to work hard, and life is hard, and you gotta suffer, and you know, only rich people have, you know, rich people have to be evil, and only rich evil people have money. You know, like there's these things that are programmed in people's psyche, like, oh, I have no control over my life, and I can do this, but only if like there's a lot of ifs and buts inside their program, and it's just a matter of removing the self-limiting beliefs to allow yourself, because if you're working with the creator, if he can create all the possibilities and the problems, can't he beat all the problems? Or I don't want to say he, for some people, like, isn't it, how can the creator be blocked? How can the creator be hindered? You know what I mean? You can't stop the creator. Like, so I like to tell people, if the creator's on my
Encompassing.
side, who can be against me? Who can beat me in basketball? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
in the
then
game of
she was talking
life.
about how we're stuck in the religion though. Like you said he because you were programmed to say he. You know what I mean? So it's like
Right. But I don't find that as a hindrance.
politics, she's
Yeah.
wants, you know, the DOD, just whoever, Vanguard, they just want us to be fighting about politics, fighting about do you get the
I
jab or
think,
not, fighting about
but
religion.
see, even if you say that, like the word he or she is like that's a word that exists in the matrix. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's it's a translation, right? So I would have to know the more universal terminology. Some things are above us in language, like we have this that exists right here in language, and my higher self or my oversoul might have the better words, but my intentions overrule my lack of third plane knowledge, third density knowledge. So when it comes to words, you know, some people only say grand rising. I don't feel like I need to change my language because there's an override between me and my words that goes straight to my intentions, that go directly to understand this universal understanding. Would they even say this with angels? Like if an angel were to speak, would it translate? Would they say Erika? Like they wouldn't do that. Like the translation of what an angel sends you would be more numerical and logical. It wouldn't be anything with the English language.
I
And
know,
I think
but is it through the satellite? Is it which drone is it through? Which AI system are you getting? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's one thing, and I
but
do
if I
totally
feel
get
I'm working with the creator and I
yeah.
connect with the creator, because you know, especially if you're a healer and you work with the creator energy. No, I'm not. I don't feel I'm working with any AI system. I'm working with the source. My energy comes from source. So the
So what if
things that
Source was
people connect with,
sabotaged, like Ashiana Dean talks about? What if Source was captured and it's a ball of like I'll just say like it's
I
the
guess
dark
if
crystal, like
source
say
is captured, what would you do about it? If
because
source
we
can't
have
speak
all these, they're still killing the children. We have all these wars. Where is God? This is you. You are creator in here. We are the crystal. I think I can't do religion anymore because I was so used and abused and all this shit that I know about AI. I can't do religion, I can't do God. So what I do is I see a big old crystal out there, like huge, okay, in heart form, because I'm a child still. Okay, so I see crystal,
Guess
beautiful.
I don't see a I
And
don't
then
see
we
a
just like
person.
our
I
little
don't
chips
see a
that talk,
person. I
you
don't
know.
I don't know what to say to that because I don't see a person.
I know there's something, and it's us,
'Cause we,
the
yeah.
crystals that are together. All of us are crystals that are together that form that creator. I'm not talking about.
I don't think we have, because we're in a third dimension, in a third density, I don't think that
Unexplainable.
we have that ability to explain what something is in a 15th dimension, right? To what we are in this third, because we're very limited. We're limited in this box, and meanwhile, the expanse is way beyond us. So how can you explain something? How can an ant explain a car if it's only lived in an anthill? It can't. So,
Yeah, it's something that it's like trying to find words for something that and you won't be able to find a word for it. So the
yeah,
only way you can explain it is with the words that you have.
yeah,
That's it. You're
yeah.
limited to what you have
And
on hand.
and the Taoists say, if you as soon as you try to explain God, you're not, right?
Yeah.
Because it's more than what we can even um, imagine, right? And everybody tries to get a handle on it from every so many directions, and and then if you're seeing it uh, from this side, and I'm seeing it from this side, we're only seeing an aspect of it here, and you're seeing these lines here, and I'm seeing this, and we're arguing about something, but as we expand, we're seeing, oh, wait a minute, there's more to this. So we have to allow people, and that's why it's taking people so long to wake up, because they're seeing things from a different perspective. And until their perspective comes into view and it makes sense for them, they're going to stay asleep. So, like, as their perspective is coming around, people are starting to wake up. And even though we may see things differently, we're still seeing the same thing.
Right. Thank you, Terry.
On those colors.
Red and yellow, McDonald's colors for the sacral chakra, and yellow to get you to be submissive, and also, well, blue is submissive, but yellow is more like no gender. And the pink I was talking about with Barbie and the Barbie movie is they're trying to create new Stepford wives because she was saying that in the 1950s the Stepford wives were all of a sudden created. So the back then they had MK Ultra still, and the commercials, the fashion wear, everything is targeted. Pink, I think also it has to do, like I said, with your stomach, getting you to buy things and getting you also to be like, oh, in fairyland, like real, like, oh, I'm just gonna, yeah, okay, you want me to cook 4 dinners today? Okay, you want me to wear this
Interesting
outfit?
because they were really pushing them wearing high heels and vacuuming in high heels and stuff like
Mary
that.
Kay Colleen,
Like,
Avon
who does
Colleen.
that?
Dude, I got trapped into that. I had my own business for home interior and gifts, and also Better Home and Gardens, and we all of us women, I had 12 girls on my team, and we all had to wear the same uniform, the same heel color, the same purse. We all, it was, dang, we all had to be full makeup like I am. We would travel to Tennessee, we would travel to Phoenix, and I would make these huge floral arrangements. I don't know from where I got the idea, but I would make trees. I would put this, I'd go into people's houses, paint their houses if they wanted me to, put up their framed art, and I sold a lot. I even went to Sal's, Arizona. I would travel like a lot, and I did it for 6 years, and I sold a lot, and all my house was filled with home interior. If somebody wanted the newest thing, I had the newest thing. You want it? All right, let's get it down the shelf. You guess what? You get 10% or 20% off, plus you get the free candle. I mean, but I had to dress very beautiful. I had to be always on my with my heels. And now it's like, dang, I miss wearing heels, but then I don't because of my back. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and one person that I was going out with said, "Te pareces a una esposa de un mafioso." He said, "You look like a woman that should be married to a mafioso." I'm like, "Why?" Because I dress up. Even my mom taught me how to dress up, and my sisters, we had to wear that belt when we were cleaning, and those those things to make you sweat. You just put like paper bags around you. You'd have to clean in the weekends especially, and sometimes during the weekends, like you have to wear that little belt to make that little, you know, to make a small, small hips. I mean, small waist, and then just very, very controlled. You can't go out to the store or to the doctor without doing your makeup. I don't want you in sweats and a ponytail with no makeup. And I'm like, here at home, I don't wear makeup anymore. But when I go out, even to the grocery store, even to the doctor, I'm
I'll be
still,
wondering now because when Mary Kay came out,
yeah.
1963. 1963. Hmm. I mean, I really thought about this Stedford wife thing, that the Stedford wives are more like this race of reptilian women that came to like destroy destroy little boys and turn them into little toxic beings. So,
Well, with the
like this
Barbie one
just
though,
roll out of
she
mind control.
she said she didn't want to have a relationship with Gosling, remember? The actor. Oh no, but no, I want to be an independent woman and I don't need you to be my husband or my boyfriend. So they're trying to break that programming of being married to a man or being together and cooking for him. So now she's independent now. And then they have the Barbie that's all crazy, right? Which signifies us that are over here, trying to tell the world, hey, wake the F up. The crazy Barbie that she's like, oh, it's because
Never watched it. I didn't watch it.
like an avatar. She's being used like an avatar. Oh, it's because my girl did. She had a little girl who would play with her as a Barbie. She just would put makeup on me, and then she would tear this and tear my hair, and then she didn't know she was being abused. She was tampered with. She was just different, right? And then now, so Barbie has to go to the real world to find her person that played with her when she was little to solve something. You got to watch it. So this also has to do with Avatar, the digital twin, manipulating your inner self, your inner child, whatever what supposedly they say we're connected to an IBM somewhere with a silver cord. They want us to mimic, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to program our avatar or digital soldier to get to us or vice versa, so that
Mhm.
they can have a copy of you. Like I always say, the Peloton commercials, the Black Mirror movies, they want to control you. It's just interesting, right? To think about.
Well, it is because now I'm also thinking about the reaction that people have to Barbie, either treating her very delicately or what? People take the heads off and they cut the hair off, and which might sound weird, but some kids really do not like Barbie. Hmm. It really got me thinking about some things. Hmm. Interesting.
Well, so you're gonna go to Journey to the Truth?
Yeah.
I,
I'm gonna drive up there, and yeah, I got a table there. Um,
I'm so proud of you. I'm happy for you and Terry.
yeah, it's really cool because it's hers. Jonathan, Jax, they're gonna drive down from Canada, so it's like, two people. You're talking to two people for like 2 years online, and then you finally get to see their faces.
Yeah,
I really truly think that's something that we should all do more of.
yeah.
But it's what's cool about Tyler and Aaron is that or JT, that they're giving people that ability because it's not this like high pressure environment where people are looking down or separate, or the
Well, just make
speakers.
sure you sit with them, because what happens in some of these, I'm not saying this one in particular, but I am, because I have my really good friend said all they do is the speakers just sit by themselves and they ignore the public. So it's like you're going
Oh
over
no,
there.
this is what I'm saying. It's actually like a huge, every table is like a TED Talk because like the speakers are sitting at different tables. Like you just sit where you sit. And it's like, oh, I'm sitting with Brad Olson. Oh, I'm sitting with Brooks Agnew. And it's not like, oh, who are you? You know, it's not like that, you know. And I've been to another conference where the speakers never sat with you, never ate with people, but you know, it's right after they get done, everybody comes into this big giant room and the vendor tables are there and then everyone can just eat at the tables. And I mean, we just end up, you know, talking about the little fries get to talk about their ideas like, hey, you know what I was really thinking? Like this is stuff that we're talking about. Like I mean, I threw a lot of ideas on the table last year and I was able to just, you know, throw some things back to people, my theories and my ideas. And I felt it was appreciated. Now, what I really did like too, some of us with kids went out and hung out with Scott and it was like it didn't matter how old your kids was. It wasn't about the cute girls and the, you know, it wasn't about the like people smoking and drinking. It was about just people and it was all ages, you know, somebody in the cast, older people, younger people. And that's kind of what I really dig about it is
Your audio is
kids.
going. I think you disconnected yourself. Did you disconnect yourself?
Yeah, I probably bumped into the thing, but the kids were there and so it was so good. I'm taking my son this time and my son's on the spectrum and I know he's gonna have a good time,
That
you
is,
know? So it's not something, you know, it was a really good environment. What I like too is that they do the thing, they stream online. So even if you had to go outside, didn't feel to just sit in the chair, you could sit outside and watch it on the stream.
nice. Is their audio really good? Because when I went to speak in March 19th, in 2021, the audio was horrible. Like I was able to post when I'm speaking on my YouTube channel playlist, but you could barely hear it. You have to put like ear things in there. That's crazy. They every year they have problems there.
Yeah. I think it's good though, because it just as long as it's the pressure isn't let's just sit in this chair
Did
and
you have to
sit.
pay for a table? Because they charged me $1,000 to have a table and $1,000 to speak.
Journey to the Church Conference.
No, at Biomedical 5D.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different type of ball game.
Girl, I need to go and hang out with you there next time.
Yeah, Tyler's table was like $100. And even the thing that I like too is that the when you pay for the ticket, it came with the live stream.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So you got a ticket, it comes with the live stream so people can go outside. And I was like, this is amazing. People were laying in the grass, looking at the conference, just laying in the grass, like on a blanket. Somebody brought their chickens. I was like, man, this is
Okay.
wild. I was gonna take my cat, but you know, I can't keep my cat at the house. So I'm just like, oh darn, we can't take Archie. So you know,
Yeah. And you guys got
yeah,
a place to stay there? Like the Airbnb or whatever?
yeah, like an Airbnb. I mean, you can stay in the cabins or you could stay, you know, in the actual place because it's like a campgrounds. Or some people are camping, some people are in an RV.
That is
So
cool.
Motley Crew. I like it.
Heck yeah.
Very affordable.
Yeah.
Very affordable. They've been kind to me the last couple of years. I've been getting blessed. So I'm really enjoying that crowd.
Nothing like
Um,
when you went the last times where we anyway.
yeah.
And all them that he got stuck like not staying anywhere and it's like oh my god it was just a mess but yeah it's I'm looking forward to going to
Getting back out.
yeah conferences like better that are not so give me money because you have to pay me because I have to invest in Bitcoin and please tell me by the way which one to invest in you know which bobblehead I'm talking about well I'm not going to name his name.
I really feel like, you know, when we can get to the point of even like, do we really need to always be going to a conference or when we get to where we start to live, like if I know I'm coming to your city, because I feel like we need to be moving around and traveling more, but
Yeah.
not necessarily sitting in seats. And so I had this idea during the last planning sessions that why aren't we going on cruises? Then we could be having all inclusive and food and then we can actually go to a beach and like
That would
we
be
can
so
do
cool.
more. We need to live more. And that's where I'm like,
Maybe we can plan
that's
that
where
for
I'm
next
at.
year. We got to plan that for next year or the year after.
Yeah, we need to
No,
just like,
because
why can't we take over a cruise ship?
yeah, because I've never been on a cruise.
Wow.
Never been on a ship. I have been on a boat, but it was those in Baja California. I was like 14 years old. There's like a little chalupa, and the sharks are everywhere.
I
And my
think people are having a hard time translating and moving from I see you online or I meet you at a conference. And I get it too, because sometimes when you have these friendships, they don't work, but we can't give up. We have to live. And
yeah.
so we have to just get to where we're living. Like last Thanksgiving, I was over at Daryl's house with Anne Marie and Daryl. Gosh, how could I not remember? You know, let me see, because that's bad that I don't remember his name.
Okay.
And I just interviewed him the other day, but I have little blips, y'all. I have little blips. What is wrong with me?
Okay. Take your time.
Wow. I'm taking way too much time for this. This doesn't matter. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But we went to his house, and because a lot of us live in Florida.
Yeah.
This is
Um.
just
Yeah. I get
Girl
it.
James. I could not get that out for nothing. But yeah, it was great. It was just like, okay, potluck. Okay. It was so funny. Yeah. It was cool.
Well, thank you, Miss Lady Erica, for being on the show. And if you can please let the audience know where they can get a hold of you. You make jewelry. You also were so nice and you purchased 3 books from me. And thank you.
TheCosmicMama.com. Yeah, I still have 2 more books to give away. So I'm gonna take those books to the conference, but I'm on TheCosmicMama.com.
Girl, I have
And
13 more to sell. I made a collect.
really,
I made a
those
collection.
books are
It's
amazing.
so beautiful. Let me show you real quick, just one because we gotta go. But
Well, while you're doing that, the last person that won one of the books, Brandy, she's a galactic star chart reader,
mhm.
and she's out in California. She called me like 20 minutes after she got it. Her whole family was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing."
So
These books
beautiful,
are
right?
so beautiful. Yeah, it's
I,
so
I
beautiful.
make them with all my love, and I have woo, 6 of them. Of the 7 of the 13 are steampunk. Some of them are mermaids. Some of them are horse steampunk. Some of them are octopus. I have a bunch of
You should actually
beautiful.
be
There's
doing that, but teaching a
yeah,
class because what happens is like sometimes creativity is in a box because we have this cookie cutter. Please don't take that as anyway, but I was trying to make a box, but cookie cutter way of square, triangle, and we think very basic sometimes, and we're afraid. Like you're not afraid to be messy, or like what happens is going through it and beyond it. Like
you
the creativity of it is, I don't know, it's
have to let
expanded.
it flow. You have to
That's
let
the
it
way
flow.
I could explain it. It's like a flow that's expanded where you're going beyond. Sometimes we're like, no, 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 don't do too much. And you minimize, but it's like you've gone through it and you've gone to the other side. And so your journals they're just amazing.
Sometimes when I
But they scream no fear. Like your books
yeah.
scream no fear.
Thank you, because sometimes it's like, oh man, this doesn't match with that. And I'm like, no, I don't have a style. And if I did have a style, it would be eclectic because I put everything and everything just comes and they tell me their name. It's like, okay, what do you want to be named? Okay, today you're Carmela, and then the horsey's gonna be named somebody, you know? And it's just they're beautiful and they're embellished. So what I tell people is when you want to write on them or paint or whatever, you have to get like something hard on this to put under the page so you can write. So that way the decorations and the pearls and all that, the steampunk jewelry or whatever doesn't bother you when you're writing. But
Or
okay,
write on a note card and put it in there. Write on something and then just put it in there.
true. That's true.
Maybe.
I
I don't
tell
know.
whoever buys it, I just say, hey, by the way, you might want to get blah blah blah. Well, thank you, Lady Erica. I will put your link tree on the video and Terry's as well, if you can send it to me or she can send it to me.
She
And
doesn't have one yet.
you know how it
Yeah.
goes. I upload it and then I put the description. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, this was great.
We'll see you.
Bye.